Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all.
All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store.
This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? First story up. So a lot of the stories today read like quickies. So I'm not really sure if I'm gonna put our lengthier stories in the beginning, which are more of our more serious stories, and then the other ones we'll leave towards the end. How's that? How y'all doing today on this fine Friday? Okay, if you're looking at this when I first loaded. First story up, let's talk about the school shooting. We've had another school shooting. I've had a few weeks where we haven't had any substantial size school shootings. They say that there's one every day, but we haven't had a large one like this in a while. So this time, this happened in Dallas, Texas, I believe it is. They said West Texas, is that Dallas, Fort Worth area? At Wilmer Hutchins High School, a 17-year-old boy by the name of Tracy Haynes. He actually is a student at the school. He brought a gun to the school. They have of course, they have a no tolerance for weapons policy on the campus. However, he was able to get into the school with this, looked like an assault rifle to me from the videos, but maybe it wasn't. But anyway, it was some kind of gun, but he was able to get it in because there was a student who had let him in like a side door, inadvertently, didn't realize that he was sneaking in a gun or anything, had let him in. And they said from the surveillance cameras that when he walked into the school, he went to the hallway, he saw a group of guys, and it looks like he just started shooting at them, like inadvertently shooting like all over the place. But they say that it seems like the boys were more of the trigger. Apparently, they're saying that this kid was bullied at the school. You know, you hear the story plenty of times. These kids have been bullied, don't know how to handle it, problem solving, those type of things. They resort to something like gun violence, bringing a gun to school or whatever. So anyway, he opened fired, he was shooting, even shot some kid like at point blank range. However, he didn't kill anybody. Thank God he didn't kill anybody. He ended up injuring, I think they said 4 people were actually injured, either shot or like in the melee. And then there was one kid, I think, that had an anxiety attack, like real bad. Anxiety or panic attack, real bad. So nobody was killed. They did end up arresting Tracy. I did not put on my notes what he was arrested, what they charged him with. I saw assault and attempted murder, but so those are the charges. I don't know the degrees or anything. I apologize for that. They said that it happened around lunchtime. There was a kid said that he just heard, like, right around the time lunch was about to start, he heard some shooting, and then he saw his classmates like running, and they just all took off running. I was like, honey, they didn't have to worry about no drill. If y'all looked at that video from the kids trying to leave the school, honey, them kids was running. Okay, wasn't no line up. Let's, walk out of here, try to, keep some sort of organization or something. Honey, them kids was like, oh no, we done seen enough of this, and we know how this shit ends. So them kids got the hell on up out of there. All right. But yeah, it's so sad that the kids have to deal with this. Like, this is a part of American school culture now. And if I was coming to America, I would be concerned, even though this is not the norm and this is not what happens at the schools, like every day at all the schools and all that. It still happens enough in the news that it would have me nervous if I was going to be moving to the United States and having to put my kid into the school. I'd be like, like, what the fuck is going on? Every time. So this kid, like I said, they said that he was bullied. Couldn't deal with it. We hear those stories all the time. Still no excuse for this shooting. Like I said, thank God nobody was killed. This kid, he did turn himself in. He actually did like a ranting type of video, him saying that he just don't have nobody. His mama gone, his grandmama gone. I don't know if they're not alive or they're just not in his life or whatever any longer, but he's saying that they're not around, and he just kind of feels like, the kid obviously has there's some struggles there, him saying that it's better for people to see him in jail than to be dead. And I'm like, yeah, it is better to see you in jail than dead, but it's better to see you not in any of them situations and thriving. Okay. The fact that you feel like those are your only options lets you know that this kid is some problems there. It's too bad though, because he's gonna go to jail for some time. And even though, he's got these issues and everything, that still doesn't excuse the fact that you almost killed a whole bunch of people. Like, you could have killed a lot of people, But when I was listening to his rant, I feel like he still don't even really connect to the seriousness of what he just did. Like, did you guys hear the rant? Did you guys see the video that he made? I mean, I didn't see it. I just heard it. But he sounds like somebody that's caught up in the excitement of the notoriety of being known as this person that does. But it's still like, do you realize that you could have killed people and that you're about to be in jail for a long time? Like him saying, like, I'd rather go to jail than be dead. I was just like, something is not there. Something's wrong. Didn't get this eye makeup quite right today, y'all. And I don't have my lashes on, so maybe that's probably why Jada got to do my lashes. But anyway, you guys, back to the story. Yeah, it's just more of the same. Insert your regular responses to these type of things now, which is so sad, and then we'll move on to the next story. All right, you guys, as I'm watching a fire engine pull into my parking lot, I just wanted to let you guys know, because a lot of people are starting to wonder, do I work in an area that's dangerous? Because every time they turn around, it's a damn fire engine. But see, you guys can actually see it back here. You see back there, there's a fire engine. I actually work in the administrative building for the fire department. Okay, for the government office that I work for. So that is why every time I'm around a lot of fire and police. I work there's the police and the fire department's administration is here. So it's always there's one that's pulling up right now. There's always fire trucks. There's always police. And so that's why you guys get the sirens. Also, since I'm updating you guys on the what's, we'll call this a little housekeeping. Okay, I know I usually do those first, but also a lot of you guys have been concerned about my retirement, with all of the things that's going on with YSAP attacking all of these tariffs and taxes and the stock market going all over the place. People have been reaching out to me and asking me is this going to affect my retirement? And I want to let you guys all know that no, it does not affect my retirement, because my retirement is not a 401k. I have a defined benefit retirement pension. So I have a pension, but I lucked out because I was when they hired me in 2005, they ended the pension 4 months after I was hired. So everybody always tells me how lucky I am that I got in on that. I realize that I am, especially now, because of all this shit that's going on. People's retirements, 401ks are getting fucking demolished in all this shit that YSAP has going. So yes, if I did have a 401k, yes, it would have been affected. However, I have a defined benefit pension, so I'm still on track to retire at the end of this year, as long as nothing else goes haywire, as long as my financial situation stays where I feel like I can comfortably do it. Then we still moving forward, y'all. We still moving forward. But yeah, my heart goes out to the people that lost money in this stock. The stock markets have been a fucking disaster. Like I told you guys, my Bitcoin, I don't even want to look at that damn app. Cause it's just all gone. That's pretty much it. But anyway, Yes, just wanted to give y'all a few little, just update y'all on a few things so y'all can know what's what, and then let's go on. So since we've already kind of talked about politics, let's just talk about the politics. Now this is kind of, we just gonna touch on some things, okay? First, let's talk about YSAP going against Harvard and saying that Harvard should not be getting the, what is it, $1.3 billion in government funding that they usually get, because YSAP feels like Harvard allows their students to riot and protest and do all these things that, you know, I guess the Department of Education is now deeming, you know, this shit should not be happening at the schools or whatever. And Harvard is just like, listen, y'all not gonna come up here and tell us what to do on our fucking campus. Don't nobody go to the White House and tell y'all what to do. So don't come over here telling us that. Like, everybody has been fined. These private institutions, these schools, these universities, Ivy League, they've all been fined. But now that we have YSAP, it's like YSAP feels like he has to dabble in every single little bit of every single thing. It's like, why are you worried about what's going on the campuses? We know your dumb ass and you can go to school. Okay? Like, your own family said that you were probably the worst student in your class, and, you know, said that you barely passed and all this. So, like, we already know you don't have that for education and all that. But for you to think that you could come in and tell, like, the likes of, like Harvard and Yale and Brown and Duke and Fisk and all of these, I mean, not Fisk. Fisk is a black school, isn't it? But you know, like, you can't come and tell these schools what to do. Like, why are you even worried about it? It's other shit that is necessary to be taken care of, and why are you know? But, you know, we got YSAP, child. YSAP, I'm gonna read you a quote that YSAP said. He said, Harvard has refused to comply with the requirements from DOE to address anti-Semitism and other issues on campus. Okay? And so he feels like because they don't have, you know, they don't direct these students, basically, and tell them what they can and cannot have feelings for, he feels like they don't need to get no money off about this. The campus also hired Bill de Blasio and Lori Lightfoot. You know, they are the mayors, the old mayor, former mayors of New York City and Chicago. Well, they've been hired by Harvard, and YSAP believes that that's a problem too. Like, why actually, this is his quote. He says, these two radical left fools left behind two cities that will take years to recover from their incompetence and evil. Harvard has been hiring almost all woke radical left idiots and bird brains who are only capable of teaching failure to students and so-called future leaders. He's talking about Harvard. Like, this is a school that we've always known to be top of the list, like high echelon, you know, Ivy League and all this. And he is up here saying that they are stupid. They got these fools that's over there running the thing. I'm parked down here and so many people just walking in front of the car right now. So annoying. So fucking annoying. But yeah, like, how you telling, and then the way that he talks about people, like, how do you expect people to be respectful of you, but you don't respect nobody? You calling them radical left fools and idiots and all that. Like, I'm telling you that YSAP is so special, child. He is so special. Harvard is just like, fuck you. Okay? And there is going to be a fight. Now, I don't know how this is going to play out. But there's definitely going to be a fight over this funding and all this. I'm sure the courts are going to step in, because YSAP, while he's talking about how they left the cities and how everybody's going to have to recover, what about your country? You doing all this shit to the country right now, and the country is going to have to recover for years and years after your dumb ass get out of office. Let me be quiet, because they say that they're going to start taking homegrowns over to El Salvador. So I was like, let me be quiet before they start going after people that's against YSAP. Because that's what they trying to do, y'all see? They ain't trying to get the boy from over in El Salvador. You know that they were ordered by the court. I think it was by the Supreme Court that they live in, the state, not the country's Supreme Court, but the state Supreme Court ordered him to bring the man back. Okay? I don't think the highest Supreme Court, I don't think they've stepped in yet. But they've ordered him to bring the man back. And now YSAP, first they were saying that they couldn't get him. Now they're trying to say, oh no, it wasn't a mistake. We sent him there on purpose. He was a gang member. Okay. And then they tried to show proof to the judge, and the judge was just like, that ain't proof. That's some bullshit right there. What y'all need to do is go and get that man from over in that jail where his life is in danger. And we done seen the video. They done shaved the man's head. The nigga just got there. His head was shaved up, and honey, they had, I know, Lord, I really pray and hope that they haven't done anything to that man, because right now he done became a political, now he's like a political item in this whole thing, right? Even though El Salvador seems to be playing right along with YSAP, you know, he had the president of El Salvador down to the White House the other day. And, you know, just looking at that president, I was like, I don't like that motherfucker. He looked a little too smooth, a little too Rico Suave, hair pushed back. He was a good looking guy, looked nice and everything sharp. I was like, he looked like one of them Miami types. I was just like, something about him. I wasn't feeling him, but he was just smiling and everything. And, you know, they was like, are you going to send the prisoner back? You know, he shouldn't be there. And he was just like, why would I do that? He's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, supposed to smuggle him in? Or, you know, I didn't know. It's preposterous. The question is preposterous. I'm not going to bring him back. He's never coming back, you know. And I was just like, how is it preposterous that you got a man? And the man was smirking and smiling and everything. And he had YSAP there, you know. And I was just like, I just really, really wonder. There goes the siren on cue. I really, really wonder what the people feel, the majority of people feel who voted for YSAP, who are really going through it now. I really wonder how they feel about this. Are they just being quiet? Are they finally speaking up like we made a mistake? Or are they still blindly being led by this dummy who is like, how do you guys feel, the ones, my Trumpsters out there, he has this whole fucking country in a financial free fall? Like, how y'all feeling about these things now? Any of you guys lost your jobs? Any of y'all family members lost their job? Any of that? What about these tariffs? Okay, that now they're starting to see, people are starting to see how it is affecting, you know, especially with these things going on with China. China refuses to come to this table that YSAP is trying to force. This was all done, I guess, mostly because of China, because most of our goods come from China, okay? You see how I'm parlaying these stories into each other? Okay, because now we moving on to this whole China situation. And how everybody's all like, y'all be buying all them luxury bags, and all the luxury bags is made in China. All the luxury bags are made in China, okay? Maybe the luxury bag material, that some of this canvas, like if you have Louis Vuitton and all that, they have like their actual insignia, I mean their symbols on the canvas. You know, that Louis Vuitton, for example, I'm just using Louis Vuitton because, but that canvas is not leather. That's canvas material. And so, you know, so that could be made somewhere, and it could be they could be overcharging people for that. That could be possibly made in China. It could be sent somewhere else. But when they talking about like these fine leathers, like Hermes bags and all of that, with these like, these crocodile and snake skins and all that, they not making that shit in China. Okay, y'all can keep on feeling like that because, you know, that's how y'all want to feel, and everybody want to be sort of like, oh girl, just go on to DH Gate. Okay, go on and get you if that's how you want to feel to make yourself feel good about it, then fine. There are some fabulous places out there that make wonderful knockoffs. Okay? So I am aware of that, and I'm sure that those come from China and all these other places as well. But just like anything else, the same way that they have knockoff shit, you know, then they have the real shit. It's the same thing, you guys. Don't get caught up in all of this. You know, China is... And you don't even really know if this is really China that's making all these memes and stuff, because social media is so deceiving now. Like, it could be some Russians, it could be anybody making those memes and all that. You know, it's just, all that is a whole bunch of talk and noise to distract. Okay? But what we talking about is these goddamn tariffs. These tariffs and these prices. And now what I was saying is people are starting to realize how the prices are getting affected. I just heard somebody just on the radio today, somebody was talking about ordering a bunch of stuff from China and the shipping price was like $80 something. You know, and then they're also saying that the car companies, the auto insurance industry, not insurance, the auto industry is also the ones that are really going to have a lot of problems with this thing too. So yes, it's like YSAP. He's so mad at Lightfoot and de Blasio, but this nigga over here still, he fucking up the whole country. So what's the difference? What is the difference? Okay? I'm telling you, that YSAP child. What else we got to talk about since we talking about politics? I feel like I still have some more things. The president of El Salvador talking about he going to build extension to the prison so that they can send the Americans, send more prisoners over there. I'm telling you, that man might try to send some folks over there. I better start watching my mouth. Oh, shit. What I'm going to be doing over in El Salvador, y'all? See, that's why I said I can't be fooling with these politics all the goddamn time, okay? Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Oh, before we move on, let's just throw this in there. I just wanted to say that Michelle Obama did address the divorce rumors, because remember last week I told you guys that people were starting to say that, there may be some problems in the Obama household. Well, Michelle finally did come out, and Michelle said basically exactly what I told you guys last week. It was just that she doesn't have the obligation to the White House. Obama does. Barack Obama does. Okay, her husband. Which means that if she decides that she wants to do something else, she is not obligated. She does not have to do it. Okay, and the fact that she just made a decision for herself not to do something that the world felt that she needed to be doing and doing what she wanted to do, it's a problem for other people. She was just like, that's because that's how society is. Because they always want to force women to be doing shit that they don't want to do. Okay, it's just because it looks right. Okay, with Michelle, it's like, fuck that. She gonna do what she want to do, and it ain't got no reflection on her relationship with her man. Her and her man are fine. Okay, and even if they wasn't fine, they gonna be fine. So don't worry about it. Sweetheart. All right, y'all, that's it on politics. And remember I told you I was just sprinkling a little bit in on there for y'all. Oh no, we're not moving on to the next story yet, because I still got more politics. Did you guys see that the Pennsylvania governor's house was set on fire? Governor Josh Shapiro and his family, they was at the house and sleep, child. They was in the house, sleep upstairs. They have this huge mansion. Thank God that they do. That huge mansion probably saved their life. Because while they were upstairs sleep, 38-year-old Cody Ballmer broke one of the windows to the kitchen or something like that, threw in a Molotov cocktail. That started the fire. He broke in the house and he threw some more cocktails around and burnt up the whole fucking first floor of the fucking house. Burnt it up, child. Them people were still upstairs. They had no idea that the house was on fire, and that's only because I'm sure there's different wings to this. As a mansion, so there's different wings to it, and that is what saved their lives. Okay, this man told the damn police that they haven't told us why he did this, but they're saying that he's had like a certain level of hatred for Mr. Shapiro, Governor Shapiro, over some time. So that was the reason why he did this, and hadn't really thought it all the way out. However, if he got in the house and saw old Josh, going to get him a glass of water in the middle of the night and bumped into him in the hallway, he was going to beat the hell out of him with the hammer. Okay? A la Nancy Pelosi's husband, the incident that happened where Nancy Pelosi's husband was beat with the hammer by the man that broke into the house. Child, I know these people that's in politics now never felt like their lives was going to be in danger. Like, that's where we are in our world today. When my parents was voting for president and shit, nobody was thinking that this kind of shit was going to be going on. And now we got to be worried about things like this. Child, the world is a crazy place right now. It's a crazy place right now. The man ended up turning himself in. They didn't even have to go and try to look for him and whatever and whatnot. The man turned himself in. Because I also feel like these people are starting to do these things because they want the notoriety. They want the martyr. They want to be attached to history right now. Like, what they want their names to come up when our kids are talking about all this shit, history. They want all of that to come up. That's why people are doing all this copycat and all this old weird ass shit. I mean, the country, and everybody's so racially divided. I was just like, it is really sad how the country has become, you guys. It's bad. It's bad. Every time I look in this camera, I just see a whole bunch of bright in my cheek. I needed to do something different. Anyway, y'all, moving on to the next story. Mission 31, y'all, the flight was successful. Okay, this is the new Shepherd program. So what I'm talking about is the Missile 31, the flight that Gail took with Katy Perry and all the rest of them, Jeff Bezos' wife and all them. Okay, they all got on a shuttle by the new Shepherd program, like I said, the crew. It was Aisha Bowers, Amanda Gwynn, Gail King, Katy Perry, Marianne Flynn, and Lauren Sanchez. I mean, these are people, scientists and singers and journalists and, like I said, Jeff Bezos' wife, richest woman in the world, basically, and researchers, and it's a whole bunch of, they had a little mix of all kind of women on this plane, but it was all women on the vessel, not the plane, on the rocket. We saw they lifted off from the launch site 1 in West Texas at 8:30 a.m. Monday morning. Child, they had that camera propped up. They had that camera propped up on the platform for when the ladies, when they finally officially walked out. It was just like, the excitement, like we about to get on the damn ship and we gonna fly up to space, okay? And so the ladies came on out, everybody coming out. Ah! They ringing the bell. Ding, 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 ding. Okay? Everybody come out. Katy Perry. Ding, 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 ding. Wow! Okay? Miss Gwen. Wow! Ding, 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 ding. Child, Gail. Yeah, a little less excited, a little more terror is probably the best word that damn Gail looked like. I saw somebody had tweeted, Gail said, "Let me go up to space, child." That's exactly how her face looked. She looked so fucking petrified. I mean, I felt so bad for her because I was like, Gail, you already told us you were scared. You didn't really want to do it, but you want to do it, but you scared to, but you got to do it and all. Like, we already know how you feeling. Child, that girl had that same look when you about to get on that roller coaster and you've been talking to your daddy the whole time. Like, I'm going to get on the roller coaster. I can't wait. Okay. You done got dressed. You getting dressed here. You going to be scared? No, I'm going to be a big boy. When I get down there, I can't wait. I'm going to get on that roller coaster. You can get on the car. All right. Little Tommy said that we're going to get there. He going to get on the roller coaster. Okay. You still going to get on the roller coaster, Tommy? Yep. I'm going to get on. Okay. Then we pull up to the damn Magic Mountain. Okay, you see the damn Colossus and the fucking revolution and all that, and you looking at it. Y'all, I'm giving my age, I know, but you know, you looking at the fucking roller coaster, and they're like, "You see it, Tommy?" And Tommy looking like, "Yeah." You excited? Yeah, because Tommy got to stick to the story that he been telling for all this time, right? Okay, good. We about to go. Okay. Then you done got there, and then, child, you can't even concentrate. You can't even fucking concentrate because all you know is you done told your daddy you getting on that roller coaster, and they fucking around with all this Dumbo and all these other fucking rides that don't nobody care for, these little ass go-karts and shit. But you, in your mind, you know you still got to tackle that big ass Colossus. It's sort of like, oh my God. Okay. And then finally the time comes. So we about to get on the Colossus. You ready? No. That's how Gail looked. That Gail looked like she was in line at the Colossus and was about to be right there in the front to get into her seat, and she really decided that she had made a bad decision. But you know what? By that time, you can't change it. You can't change your mind. Because, damn it, you here. We need to move this line along, get on the fucking thing, let's go. Okay? Can't have it hold up, you scared, crying and all. Get on and go. So, that's exactly how Gail looked. I said, girl, you look like you just, like that was the worst thing that you ever decided to do. But you know what? Sometimes when you have like big fears, like one day, I'm never going to do this, but I would have loved to be able to jump from a plane because I am terrified of heights. And so like heights outside, so I can't be in the air in the like, but I would love to be able to do something like that. I mean, I feel like I would feel like I've conquered like all of my fears if I did something like that. I just can't do it. I can't do it. But Gail probably felt that way about this trip. Like, I need to do this because I gotta, you know, I gotta conquer this fear. So she did it. They went up there, much like when Michael and them went, Michael Strahan and them went. It was the same thing. They got up there, they broke the barrier, so they were in space, but they were pretty much right at the edge of space, so about to be back into our atmosphere. So they were up there, they were able to reach zero gravity, you know, they floated around, you know, everybody had their little things that they wanted to do, you know. Katy Perry had a little girl's name is Daisy, so she had a Daisy, and Gail had some shit. You know, everybody had little things that they wanted to represent, like, oh, it took in base. I mean, they all went to space and all this, right? And then when they got back, child, they was kissing that ground. Katy Perry kissed the ground. And so did Gail. And I know Gail really, child, I can't look at the eyes. Everything looks really light. I'm gonna have to do this different. Something ain't right, y'all. I think I use too much too much highlight. That's what it is. I think it's too much white, too much light. It's making everything be all. Anyway, y'all, that's that on that. Did I finish the story? Did I finish the story? Gail did, you know, say how excited she was, very happy that she did it. She knew she was going to do it, even though she was very scared, but she knew she had to do it. Oprah was down there, her bestie, you know, she was like, I knew she had to do it, or else she was going to be so regretful. So it was like, you know, she's here. Oprah was crying, all the people down there, you know, all that. Then they started making the memes and stuff because that's what social media does. And then Gail is now responding to the memes, and it's just sort of like, Gail, it's called a joke. The same way y'all had all up in arms about being called auntie. You gonna be auntie whether or not you want to get called it or not. Girl, you auntie, okay? You and Oprah, all right? But the same way they had to respond to that with an attitude. It was just sort of like, Gail, she don't have an attitude, but she's like over explaining. It's just sort of like, girl, we got it. We was just playing. Girl, you look terrified and everything, but the memes are funny. We just laugh at the memes and then we move on. It's okay, Gail. It's all right. Don't listen to these people joking about you if it's upsetting you. We supposed to be laughing, okay? It was nice to see that it was a crew of all women. This is now 68 people that have been to space on Mission 31. And they're going to continue to do this. People are like, why are they doing that? Why are people spending money to go up there? And it's just to be able to say you did it, to be able to say that you were the first to be able to do it. That's pretty much it. I mean, I'm sure there's scientists and stuff that go, you know, for other reasons, but I'm talking about for your Gail and your Katie types, okay, who clearly have nothing to do with this kind of stuff. It's just so you can be able to say that you did it. All right. Well, you know, if you ain't trying to go to space, it's fine. All right, just stay your ass on the earth and everything be good. All right. All right. All right, you guys, that is that. We're going to get on off of here. Okay, we do this every single week, so make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars.